Peace, y'all. Mall's once again back into place. Doing a 2-for-1. Although y'all are still getting this the week after the previous one. So again, if you notice, hey, Mall's wearing the same shirt he wore in the last joint. A, I got a washing machine. B, I recorded these two at the same day. C, mind your business. But yo, back once again with another episode of The Breakdown. This is the series where I break down the lyrics and give the backstory, provide context to the songs from my latest album, A Subtle Reminder, produced entirely by Sharp Cuts. You can get A Subtle Reminder anywhere you stream your music, your Spotify's, your Apple Music, your titles, all of that. I also have it on malls.bandcamp.com. If you're a real one, you'll get it from there. I still have physical copies available, so you can get one of these dope CDs with this dope DJ Jazz Pants artwork on it, complete with liner notes, and I'll probably throw in a little, extra something as well if you copy the CD. So without any further ado, we are doing the penultimate track. That means next to last. It's called Nothing You Can Do. Nah, not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. So, Nothing You Can Do is actually the very first song that I wrote for this album. There were two songs that I wrote within like maybe a week or two of each other. It's this one and then another one that did not make the album because at the time I wrote these two songs, the album was going to be something completely different than what it ended up being. So I wrote this song, and I don't think Sharp is too precious with his sample materials or what songs that he's sampling, even though I'm not really fond of sample snitching. But when I heard that Average White Band sample, and if you're familiar with Average White Band, it's pretty kind of a layup, like you could easily guess it. But when I heard it, I was like, yo, this is so dope. I just love the way that Sharp has different parts in it. It's not just like, okay, this is the loop for the beat, the verse. This is the loop for the chorus. It's, there's intros, there's, changes within the choruses. There's, refrains and all, like there's all these different things in his beat. It's not just one loop, even though he can do that, and I do appreciate that. But you get a variety. Like your ears don't get tired of hearing a Sharp Cuts beat because he doesn't do the same thing on every beat. That being said, I wrote this song way back January 3rd, 2021. I still have it. It's in my larger rhyme pad, so you can see right there. Didn't even have like a name for it written yet, and just little notes and stuff. I just went with what the sample was saying. There's nothing you can do, and I kind of was like, okay, I don't want to go ahead and just hit him in the head with this hopeless feeling. I'm still gonna do what I do, where I give you bars, but then also give you a little something to a little bit of food for thought at the same time. As you know, I don't like to start my verse on the one. Sometimes I wait till like the second or third beat. So this is no exception. So I start out the song saying, no apologies, firm at my words, you heard shouldn't have started me. When will you learn you get burned like glazed pottery? Obviously, you try to keep up, but you can't follow me. So again, I'm flexing on it. Straight out the gate, I'm unapologetic. Like, they should have never got me started. I am that dude. Like, that's how I'm coming with this, the first song that I'm writing for this album. This is my attitude. When will you learn you get burned like glazed pottery? For those who don't know, any kind of pottery that's made, you put it in a kiln. It's a big oven, turns the clay to a very firm, breakable thing that you finally buy in the store or from whoever you're buying your clay pottery and stuff from. This is one of those beats that Sharp has where it does a bunch of different things in the verses. So for a rapper like me who doesn't really like to keep the same rhyme pattern throughout the whole, or at least the same cadence throughout the whole song, this was good for me. So right after those 4 bars, I kind of changed my cadence a little bit to go with the beat. So the next four is gotta be his team because his nonchalant demeanor makes it hard for cats to read him. Serious as a subpoena. See the spark that's in my pupil will tell you this moment's crucial. Survived the wildest times, but I left with a couple loose screws. First of all, that little cadence change, that flow was inspired by Freeway What We Do. I, you know, if you're a certain age, that song will get you hype every single time. Even if you're not a certain age, that song is just so dope, and I always love the way Freeway rhymed on it. And just his rhyme style in general, right? Like, because it was so different. It just seems like a snowball just getting bigger and just getting more momentum. That's the way it kind of feels to me when I hear that flow or when I try to do that flow. So I say it gotta be his team because his nonchalant demeanor, and my team being Precise, Sharp Cuts, you know, DJ Samps, like the few people who rock with me consistently that are kind of in my, I guess, creative circle, so to speak. Cesar Comanche, you know, like Eternal, like those guys. Like I don't necessarily have a team of like, you know, oh this guy does this job and this guy does this job, but it's just the people in, you know, kind of my closer creative circle, you know. So I say it gotta be my team because my nonchalant demeanor makes it hard for cats to read them. Like if you know me, you know I don't get too high, I don't get too low, I don't really react to a lot of things. Like my facial expression hardly changes a lot, just when I'm out and about. If it's just, you know, you and I having a conversation, that's a little different. But I'm very nonchalant, I'm very calm, you know, so it's hard for people to read me, which probably acts as a detriment in certain social things, but whatever, it is what it is, right? That's why I say makes it hard for cats to read them. Serious as a subpoena. So if you get a subpoena in the mail, I don't know about you, but I kind of take stuff like that seriously. If you're subpoenaed to go to court. So serious as a subpoena. And then I say, you see the spark in my pupil will tell you this moment's crucial. So if you know, again, like I do have signs to let you know like when I'm serious and I feel like this moment's crucial. Like anytime I release an album, it's a crucial moment because I put a lot of work, I put a lot of money, I put a lot of effort and time into this thing. So it's crucial that I give it the attention and the push that it deserves so that I can at least get some kind of return on investment. And then that last line is survived the wildest times and left with a couple loose screws. So, you know, if you follow my music throughout the years, you know I've been through a lot of stuff. And a lot of it I put in the music, kind of masked it, but still putting it in the music. A lot of it I haven't and probably won't. And these things affect you. So, you know, survived the wildest times and are left with a couple loose screws. Like they've affected me. So that next four lines, I'm still continuing with that quasi rapid fire flow, kind of sorta, where I say still morning guru and fife, but now it's doom too. I move from a soldier to ruler like Shaka Zulu. Nothing you can say, you can keep your carnival prizes. I know that I am the livest, surprising, I'm steady thriving. So that first line in that little 4-bar section kind of lets you know about the period of time when I wrote this. Like we had just found out about Doom's passing, which, you know, happened way earlier than when we found out about it. Unlike a lot of kind of notable people's deaths, we usually find out about like that day or the next day. So, and I am still thinking about Doom and Fife Dog and Guru and all these guys that we lost in the rap world and the hip hop community at large. You know, I had to throw some shouts out to guys who influenced me in that. So Doom, Guru, Fife Dog, definitely had to put them in there. And then the next line, I moved from a soldier to ruler like Shaka Zulu. Shaka Zulu was a real person, not just a movie. You know, he was started in the military, so he was a soldier, ended up king of the Zulus. The Zulu people were, you know, a group of people who were in South Africa back in, I think, the 1800s, maybe. So just putting that in there. Again, little food for thought mixed in with the bars and the fly shit. So I say nothing else to prove, you can keep your carnival prizes. Like, At one point in time early in my career, I wanted to prove to everyone that, like, hey man, I'm dope. I make dope music. I'm good. I can run with the big boys. I don't feel like I have to prove myself to other people anymore. It's more so of challenging myself to be better than I was previously. So I have nothing left to prove. You know, you can keep your carnival prizes. I don't need, you know, the little trinkets, the little validation or anything like that. I know that I am the livest. I know that I'm dope. Like, I don't need that validation from other people. And then I said surprised, and I'm surprised that I'm steady thriving. So again, that kind of goes back to that previous 4 lines where I said survived the wildest times, but left with a couple loose screws. Like, it's surprising that I'm still thriving. Like, a lot of people would have, you know, just completely had a meltdown and just not been able to recover, you know, with a lot of the things that I've been through. So for this section here, the beat changes where it's just the drums, you know, and I felt like, okay, I need to do something different because the beat does something different. So I kind of get out of that sort of kind of rapid fire flow, and I decide, okay, I'm just gonna make like a little refrain, um, you know, where it's not quite a chorus, but you know, it's still, you know, kind of chorus like. So I say, rise it to the peak, fist up like Uhuru, blacker than the Queen Mother practicing her voodoo, American Nightmare, visions of Cthulhu, cause there's, and then the sample plays, nothing that you can do. Rise it to the peak, fist up like Uhuru. Uhuru means freedom. Blacker than the Queen Mother practicing her voodoo, kind of reinforcing that previous line. American Nightmare, visions of Cthulhu. Cthulhu is a creation by H.P. Lovecraft in his like horror and pulp books. So that's like an American nightmare. So I could have also mentioned Cody Rhodes as well for some WWE wrestling thing, but American Nightmare, Visions of Cthulhu, because there's nothing that you can do. And then for I guess you could call it the chorus. I just say not a damn thing, and I always have my head like I want someone else to say that with me. And it has to be a voice that's very much not like mine. So I didn't want a dude to say it with me, because if I would have got precise, he has a deep voice. Obviously, is a lot deeper than mine. I have a deep voice. Like it wouldn't have sounded as dynamic. So I'm like, okay, let me holler at one of my friends. So I got one of my good friends to come to the studio and just say, I was like, okay, now she is not big on like rap, especially like the type of rap that I do, traditional boom bap type stuff. She listens to the radio. She's more of an R&B chick. She doesn't really listen to music that much anyway. So I had to coach her. I'm like, just say it with attitude. And then I got a couple of takes of her saying it. It's like all you got to do is say not a damn thing. Like you're shutting it down. Like I just kind of had to coach, and that's kind of the probably the closest I've come to producing someone else, of like coaching them in the vocal booth. And this is like someone who's not a musician, so I'm having to tell her like, okay, step this far away from the mic, give me a mic check, blah blah blah. Okay, project your voice, do all of that. So that was definitely an experience, but it sounded really great, especially when Sharp mixed it down and got the vocals to kind of sound good to mesh with mine. So I thought it really added something. So shout out to her. I'm pretty sure she's never even heard the song. That's how much like she doesn't really follow music like that. I start the second verse with Earth Seed, cursed from the nursery. First it was merchant fleets, purchased the birth of me, and now it's mass incarceration and murdering by the state it filled theirs. And then the sample plays Nothing That You Can Do. At the time I was rereading one of my favorite authors, Octavia Butler. I was reading the Parable series, and in that series the main character has this idea for like her utopia that she wants to start, and it's called Earth Seed. So that was just a shout out reference to Octavia Butler, and just my love for her writing and those books specifically. So I say Cursed from the Nursery. First it was merchant fleets, talking about slavery, which obviously I know that's not the beginning of black history, but it goes back, First it was merchant fleets, purchased the birth of me, and now it's mass incarceration and murdering by the state. So again, I'm starting out with, some of that food for thought, and I say it feels like there's nothing you can do about all these things, the things that happened in the past, the things that happen in the present that continue to happen, like mass incarceration, murder. It feels hopeless, right? So then I come with the positivity in that next set. But I stay vigilant, militant as I ever been. Anything I put effort in flourishes, no exception. This is self-affirming music for positive motivation. The lazy ones think it's rapidy rapping for a playlist. So despite feeling like there's nothing you can do about all these horrible things, I stay militant and I stay vigilant. I don't stop. I do things in my own way. I feel like putting my music out, and the things that I do, on an individual level is my way of helping, you know, get our people free. Anything that I put effort in flourishes. This music, it flourishes. Like my art, my visual art, when I put effort into it, which I'm a little bit inconsistent, I'm gonna be honest. It flourishes. I do well, and that's for anyone. Whatever you water is what will grow, right? So anything I put effort in flourishes, no exceptions. And so I say this is something that I kind of came up with a few years ago, as far as how to explain what I do with music and rap. Like, it's not just bragging for the sake of bragging, it's self-affirming. Like, I'm saying I'm the best. I spent a lot of time in my youth thinking that I wasn't shit, you know. Um, and a lot of people do. Maybe not like all around, I'm just a horrible human being, but like, oh man, I'm not good at this. But this is self-affirmation. It's like, no, I am good. I am the best. I'm the best at what I do. I have this good thing about me. So this is self-affirming music for positive motivation. That's what I feel like my music is, and my approach as an MC is. And the lazy ones think it's rapidy rapping for the playlist. I I have a bit of a problem with people who like to kind of say rapidy rapping as like a pejorative, like it's a bad thing to be good at rap. um, so a lot of people listen to it and they think like, oh, it's just some rapidy rap shit. It's just some of that boom bap shit. Like, no, it's more than that. I'm not just, like Chuck D said, I don't rhyme for the sake of riddling. Like, it's more than that. It's more than just to get on the playlist. Like, I'm trying to motivate people. I'm trying to inspire people. I'm trying to give an escape for people, or give something, just something that they can enjoy for like 2 to 3 minutes at a time. And then I say, amazing how I take it from complex to the basics. Journalists underrated. I feel like it's all been wasted. Hate it when I'm like this, but then I'm always reminded, and then the sample plays. And I'm going to be totally honest, I have no idea what they're saying in that sample. I have the record that this song is on, and I've listened to that song over and over, and I still don't completely know. It sounds like he's saying love is just standing still, but I'm not 100% sure. I've never looked up the lyrics to the song either. So maybe I should do that, and maybe that whole thing just doesn't make sense. But again, that's saying amazing how I take it from complex to the basic. So I'm talking about kind of some heavy things of, slavery, mass incarceration, or whatever. And then I can also give you like just basic styles. I can do either one. And then journalists underrated. Not like I've got a ton of, media coverage for my music. The media coverage that have gotten is mostly, it's all been positive. I've never had like a bad review of an album. But I do feel like I am underrated, and I do feel like my albums are severely underrated, as far as like, I've never been on one of those, best of whatever year lists. And I feel like I've at least got a couple of albums that deserve to be on those best of lists, from whatever year that they came out. So I feel like journalists underrated. I would be lying if I said that, like, when I don't get on those lists, when I'm not named as one of the best MCs or whatever, I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me even a little bit, because it does. It doesn't stick with me, but it still bothers me a little bit. So I say I hate it when I'm like this, but then I'm always reminded. And then whatever the fuck the average white band is saying. The last four bars are, and I'm all about progression, keeping on moving forward, leaving behind the dormant, feeling blessed every morning. Words come out disjointed and pieced together enormous, taking the ugly truth, and when I put it down, it's gorgeous. So again, there's that negative, but then I'm following it up with that positive, right? Even though I can get a little bit down about not receiving accolades from the media or whatever, I'm still progressing. I still feel like, I I'm getting payoff for the hard work. I'm still feeling great about my music. You know, so it doesn't affect me that much. And then just kind of the last two lines are just kind of like essentially what any creative does, whether it's visual art or music or acting or whatever, whether you're screenwriting for stage, for movies, for television or whatever, like you have these thoughts that may be a little bit disjointed, and then you piece it together and it becomes something bigger than what you thought it would initially be, right? Like you have a whole play or you have a whole song or you have a whole screenplay for a movie. And then that last line was another shout out to Doom, taking the ugly truth, and when I put it down, it's gorgeous. Where Doom said, a rather ugly brother with flows that's gorgeous. And so then I just ended the song there because, again, this is one of those sharp beats that was a little bit, it didn't have that, this is the verse, this is the chorus, this is the verse, this is the chorus, this is the outro. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just leave it there. Two verses, I'm out. We added the little kind of sort of chorus part of not a damn thing, and then that was it, man. Nothing you could do. It is the first song I wrote for the album. It is the next to last song that I put on the track list for the album. Once again, thank you if you've watched this video all the way to the end. Be sure to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Leave a comment below. Tell me what your favorite line is, what you feel about the song, what your favorite track is. Holler at me. Be sure to share the video with your friends on all your social media. A subtle reminder is available everywhere. Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, all that stuff. As always, I have links in the description below where you can get it. malls.bandcamp.com is the preferred way I would like you to experience this album. You can download it and have it forever. You can get a CD. I still have CDs available. I can ship those out to you, no problem. Till next time, man. Malls signing off. Peace.